Welcome to Eternal Manna, the daily devotional broadcast of Grace Gospel Church. We are looking at Psalm 37, a psalm written by David in his old age. How do we know that? The verse we are going to look at now, verse 25. I was young and now I am old, yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging bread. What a testimony of a man of God. He had been young, he had gone through mid age, and now he is into his senior years. And he has this riveting testimony to the glory of God, that God does not forsake his people. And David said he had never seen the children of the righteous begging for bread. God cares for those who honor him, and God's care extends even to their posterity. Now, of course, when we think of our posterity, sometimes sadly, they may be reduced to beggary. Why? Because of extreme and reckless conduct, like the prodigal son, making bad choices, bad lifestyle choices, and they can end up in a pig pen. But as we continue to look to God and as we follow him and obey him, our God is committed to providing for us. As the years add up, God's faithfulness keeps multiplying. So, verse 26, they are always generous and lend freely, their children will be a blessing. These are the righteous, the godly, those who have chosen to follow the Lord. They are always generous. We looked at generosity uh, earlier, and we said that we need to be generous with our resources, with our time. We must give joyfully and sacrificially. And there's a new word introduced here in verse 26. They are always generous. There will never come a time in the life of a righteous man or woman when he is going to be stingy, when he is going to hold back. He will always delight in giving more and more and more so that needs are met and people are blessed. And if he chooses to lend, he is not going to take any interest, because he says in verse 26, they will lend freely. They may give a loan, but they are not going to take any interest. And they will always say, just give it back when you can. Their children will be a blessing. Oh, how we all long for that, isn't it? That our children will walk in our footsteps, and they will follow the Lord, and that they will be a blessing. And we must do all what we can to ensure that we live righteous lives, we live exemplary lives before our children, and that they too will make choices to follow the Lord and to be a blessing to the people around them. Verse 27, the psalmist gives us further admonition. Turn from evil and do good, and you will dwell in the land forever. So the psalmist is saying that we need to depart from the spirit and example of evil doers. And sometimes we may be tempted to cut corners. We may be tempted to be dishonest. We may be tempted to compromise. And David says, no, don't go that direction. Turn from evil and continue to do good. And when we continue to do good, then there are rewards. God will super abundantly bless us. And one of the blessings is that we are going to dwell in the land forever. That talks about security. That talks about being settled in the land, and no one can move us. No one can harm us. We are shielded. We are protected by our God. Every night before I go to sleep, I pray that the angels of God will hover around all God's people and keep them safe through the night and through the day. And we can then testify and give praise to God that He has caused us to dwell in the land, and that we will continue to be a blessing, continue to do good, and continue to give generously. Have a good and godly day today. Amen.
For more videos like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Grace Gospel English Church Toronto. Thank you.